everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. Holy crap, everybody. The Blue Jays just made a very, very interesting trade, I guess you could say the least. Danny Jansen is now going over to the Chicago White Sox. That is by Jeff Passan, Bob Nightingale, Hazel Mays retweeted it. That is pretty much confirmed. The details are slowly coming out. We have a little bit of information on what the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be getting in return in this Dirty Hands deal. Dirty Hands is gone, everybody. No more Dirty Hands here on Blue Jays Today. No more. No more. The Boston Red Sox are going to be getting Danny Jansen. So did I say White Sox? My problem, guys. I'm at a pool party right now having drinks, so that's my bad. It's the Red Sox. They're going over to the Red Sox. It's in the title. It's in the thumbnail. My apologies, everybody. My apologies. Yes, Dirty Hands Jansen, no longer a Toronto Blue Jay, guys. This is huge. Let's go look over at what Jeff Passan just tweeted out literally 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago, you've got Jeff Passan right here coming out and saying Danny Jansen to Boston is done. Sources told ESPN. Full extent of the deal is unclear, but one player going to Toronto is infielder Cutter Coffey. I want to say Coffey or Coffey. Coffee sounds better. It's like a cup of coffee. A second-round pick in 2022 who has impressed in high A this season. First things first, I just want to give my reaction before I break down this whole thing. I just want to give my reaction to the whole Danny Jansen deal as a whole. I was under the impression in the last few days that Danny Jansen was going to stay a Toronto Blue Jay. He was performing bad. Right? I mean, let's go flash over to the numbers right now. Danny Jansen has not really been performing that good at all as of late. I mean, you look at the splits. I'll flash it over to you guys in just a moment. You look over at the splits and you see a guy in the last 28 days who's batting a .132 with an OPS of 455. In the last 7 days, he's a batting average under 100. And while that's not an attractive guy to get who is on an expiring contract, I thought, okay, well, maybe the bright side of things right here is that, well, Danny Jansen could possibly stay as a Toronto Blue Jay, and that if we were serious, if Ross Atkins was serious about contending in 2025, then maybe you leave the door open for either him or the next general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays to take over and sign him to an extension. Because when we look at it, what we have on our team right now, we have Alejandro Kirk. Okay, he hasn't been that great this year with the bat, and he hasn't been that great with the bat last year. The defense is a little bit better. We don't really see it right here. I mean, the bat is so bad. I mean, the WAR is reflective that it's actually pulling up his WAR a little bit because his defense has been a little bit better. But we all know Alejandro Kirk is not an everyday catcher. Danny Jansen, yes, he's been injured and he hasn't been the everyday catcher, but that's a guy that's been with this organization for 7 effing years. Also, quick shout out to Daniela Castro saying, did you see the Jays getting Jansen back in the offseason or the last time we see him as a Jays? I do want to address that at the end of this video here, Daniela. Thank you so much for your donation. Everyone thumbs up that W's chat for Daniela. But my point being right here is, okay, he's struggling. We see him struggling, and then it's like, okay, well, what are we going to get in return for him? Probably not much, because why don't we just keep him? Because there's more upside to keep Danny Jansen at this point, to keep him on this team, extend him, which wouldn't cost you anything at all. It's not like I'm asking Danny Jansen to be a superhero catcher. Him and Kirk can split time forever, because you got Kirk for the next 2 years after this, 2025, 2026. So it's like, okay, cool. We can have this catching duo for at least the next 2 years, right? That's been working for us just fine. But no, instead, you trade Danny Jansen over to the the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox. And let me say one more thing about this, but why I'm kind of cheesed. Before I get into Cutter Coffey, or however you say his last name, here's one more thing that I don't like. Ross Atkins, traded Gabriel Moreno 2 years ago. You traded him 2 years ago So what that told me is, okay, we're going to extend one of Kirk or Danny. Which one of it's like the Bo and Vlad, but for the catching position. One of these guys is going to be with us for the rest of our next window, or this window, or next window. But you don't. You didn't get the extension done this offseason. Now you trade him away. Unless, and thank you, Danielle, you brought this up in your don't know question. This is a good question. Unless you're literally going to sign Danny Jansen back in the offseason, this is a failure of a general manager, and this would go towards the resume of you getting fired. Absolutely. This is disgraceful. This is a piss poor move unless you sign him back, because if you're being serious about contending in 2025, you do not trade Danny Jansen at his lowest value. Piss poor decision. I'm angry. I'm a few beers deep, as you can all tell. Piss poor. Let's now talk about what we traded for. Cutter Coffey. We traded for this guy. That's what we know right now. There might be some more updating news. Right now, I got my phone on the chat right now. So I'll go check and refresh before this is all said and done. Cutter Coffey. He got drafted in the second round by the Boston Red Sox, I'm presuming, because we got him from the Boston Red Sox, in 2022. Second round pick. So far, this is all fresh to me. I literally pulled this up 30 seconds before I hit the live button, guys. So I'm reacting to this with you guys right now. He's been impressing in high A so far. He's batting .238. He's a third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, right-handed thrower. He's 6'1", 190. Okay, so he's kind of like some of my friends I know. He's batting .238 with an OPS of 784. Cool. What's he got? He doesn't really steal bases. He's got 14 homers in 61 games. That's some upside right there. I guess he's got a little bit of pop. So he doesn't have the high batting average in high A at 20 years old, but a little bit of pop. But again, what are we expecting from a Danny Jansen sold at his lowest value? I mean, probably this, right? A guy that's been decent at high single A, right? I don't really know if this guy's probably never going to touch the big league level. Maybe he does, like 6 years from now. But that's my point right now, guys. I'm going to flip it back to me so you can see my ranting ass face in full picture. That's my point. Is he a top 10 Red Sox prospect? I'm actually going to look that up in a second. I will get to you, Danielle. Actually, I didn't even look that up. I didn't have time. I was just like, I want to flip this on. That's my point. Is your trade, the value you're getting in return for how bad Danny Jansen has been this year is not good. Granted, that's one guy, right? That's all I know is one guy. So far, I'm not super impressed. I mean, it's just a guy. I'm going to take a look at the value. I'm looking at some of your comments. He's not in the top 30 prospects in Boston. Yes, thank you, Mr. Bloopy and Scott and Miami. Thank you for the updates. If you guys are seeing updates, let me know in the chat so I can update you guys as well. He is not a top 30 prospect. Granted, like I said, we don't know the full extent of the deal. I'm going to refresh this Jeff Passan page, and we don't see anything yet so far. The details are still being confirmed. But my point being still stands, guys. You don't really need me to go on too much longer. It doesn't matter. What would Boston realistically pay for Danny Jansen, a catcher? They already have two catchers, Wong and Wanky Panky, a.k.a. Reese McGuire. They're trading for Danny Jansen as probably a DH/backup catcher. You're trading for a guy batting with a 90 OPS plus. So you're just trading for depth for only half a season. Do you really think that they're going to be giving up any more than Cutter Coffey? No. I would bet so much you're not getting a top prospect. It's just like the Nate Pearson thing all over again. You're not getting much. Just Coffey, you think, Adam? Even if it is just Coffey, I mean, if it's another guy, it's going to be a very similar tier to Coffey, right? Yo, shout out to HSM Fangirl Gaming with a $6.99 donation saying, I'm tired of incompetent management, dealt with this Vancouver Canucks since April 2015 to December 2021. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think this is kind of my cap on this whole Danny Jansen trade is, again, I thought we were going to sign him or we're going to keep him to then try and sign him back. And I thought somebody would be in Ross Atkins' corner being like, hey, don't trade Danny right now. We're not going to get a whole lot. So let's try and just get some sort of value in him when he's playing for the team, not for Cutter Coffey, which, by the way, let me say, dope name. But I don't like it. Lana's saying, didn't we trade Jimmy for yesterday for catcher? But yeah, he's not a top-rated prospect. The point being, he's not going to come up for many times. The point being, this is the ridiculousness. You guys already heard everything I've said. Let me say one more ridiculous thing that makes me baffle at this entire deal is you keep saying, Ross Atkins, we're going to try and compete in 2025. Why are you trading the guy that has been dealing your whole pitching staff, dealing with your entire pitching staff for as long as we know? Why are you trading him? You know how much Danny Jansen is going to cost? Well under $10 million average annual value per year. He's not going to cost you a whole lot. So why are you trading him away? Yes, to maybe get value. Do you not think he's going to sign with the Blue Jays? Or maybe you fumbled the bag this past offseason or the previous offseasons and you realize you're screwed and Danny won't sign back. So either way, you messed up. You messed up. And Alejandro Kirk's not going to catch 6 of the 7 days a week. No, he's not gonna. He's just not built to do that, guys. When he is on regular rest, Kirk performs at his best. So who are we going to have for next year that's going to be in our quote-unquote competitive team? Kirk and Brian Serven? This is a joke. This is a joke. Absolute joke. Guys, we are going to wait and see if there's any more news for the little bit. I'm not seeing any more anymore. But that's it, guys. That's it. We still got to cover the rest of this deadline. This is our Saturday. As you can tell, I'm not in my regular studio. But, guys, we'll be back Sunday covering the regular trade deadline. We'll be covering it on Monday. We'll be covering it on Tuesday. So far, I've liked some deals. I do not like this Danny Jansen deal, trading to a division rival. Thank you guys so much for watching, and to the amount of people. We got a ton of people in this chat right now. 357 watching. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. We're going to be back with some more and some more booze. You guys know I'm going to be back. I'm on my villain tour right now. I'm going to be gunning for people. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, guys, go Jays, go.